I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. In Senate floor remarks on Wednesday, Senator Marsha Blackburn mocked President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris over low poll numbers. Attacking the record after over a year in office, the Tennessee Republicans said they, quote, did this to themselves. Blackburn called out inflation, the border, and U.S. abandonment of 2 embassies as major failures. Let's take a listen to Senator Blackburn's full speech.
Well, it has been over a year since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrats took control of all the government here in D.C. They like the fact that they've got their hands on the drivers and they're enacting their policies. But what is so interesting, as my colleague from Iowa was pointing out, is they continue to try to blame Donald Trump and Republicans for the issues that are in front of us. Now, just a few years ago, if you had asked me how I would evaluate a government that spent their way into inflation, record-breaking inflation, surrendered our border to the drug cartels and abandoned 2 embassies, I'd tell you that that sounds like an administration that is in disarray. I think most people would believe that to be a fact. But here is the problem. We've moved beyond disarray. Tennesseans feel like that it's more like a catastrophe. This is not mere incompetence at work. Joe Biden is earning his disapproval rating that he was joking about at the correspondents' dinner last week. He knows that it is indeed low, some of the lowest ever. The fact is that President Biden and Vice President Harris have had a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad year. And they did this to themselves. And now their allies in Congress are ready to make things even worse. They're doubling down. And this is what happens when you try to force an agenda filled with pet projects that the American people are telling you they do not want. And as taxpayers are saying, you can't afford this. This is what happens when you really have no vision for the future of the country. It's all about power, all about control. Last month, the Harvard Kennedy School Institute of Politics released a poll showing that this distinction between agenda and vision actually matters to people. They found that 56% of young Americans aged 18 to 29 disapprove of Joe Biden's job performance. That's correct. 56% disapprove. And just last spring, 59% of young Americans were still in his corner. Look at what is happening. Look at that flip that is taking place. The measure of success or failure for this administration shouldn't come down to how many boxes they can check off their wish list, but how many young Americans look at what they're doing and they say, I can't support this. This does not give me hope. This does not look good for my future. Indeed, 56% of young Americans ages 18 to 29 disapprove of the Biden agenda. Right now, this age group, they're losing hope. That same Harvard poll shows that their top concern isn't the environment, it isn't abortion or Roe versus Wade, it's the economy. And why wouldn't it be? The current inflation rate is 8.5%. Last year, it was 2.6%. How can anyone be expected to plan for their future if they're struggling to plan for next week's grocery run? They're paying a premium just to live. Meanwhile, the president is asking them to sacrifice even more so he can check some more boxes on his to-do list that is all about this leftist agenda. It's not about the people. It's about power. It's about control. Young Americans, and I would say all Americans, Tennesseans, deserve better than this. They deserve leaders who have a vision for the future of this country, who have the God-given common sense to see it through. Joe Biden and the Democrats have been in power for more than a year. The window for blame shifting and excuses is closed. It is shut. It is time for the president to abandon this self-destructive agenda and give the American people a fighting chance at reclaiming their own vision for the future. I yield the floor.